Hi and welcome to a new video. In this video I wanted to go through the setup and the basically the initial or first setup of the Netduma R3 gaming router. So you would have seen in my first video, part 1, where I've done the unboxing and gone through the specifications and features of the actual router. So if you are interested in that, I'll link in the description, and also I'll put a card in the top right hand corner where you can click through and watch that video first. As we know, router is very specific to gaming, and it has a lot of features around it, and also some very unique features built into it that you don't find on other manufacturers' routers and things like that. So it's good to see. We can have a look through them. I'm going to currently using as you can see here, the web interface. Netduma do have the two apps. So you have your iOS app and your Android app that you can use as well. They basically are mirrored like here, so all you would do is connect your device to the router, and then you download the app from the App Store or from the Google Play Store, and then you would go through the process. These screens are going to be exactly the same, so the steps in here you'll be able to go through. I might do another video separately as well, going through the app as well, so you can have a look. But just be reassured that these pages are going to be the same. So once you've switched on, of course, the router and attached the 4 antennas, you're going to want to connect the Ethernet cable, so your internet cable, to the back of the router. As you can see here in the picture, it's the blue WAN port that you're going to want to connect your Ethernet cable to. So that cable is normally going to come from your ONT box, or it's going to come from your cable modem, or your ISP modem that you've got if you need one. So it's going to come from there, and then it'll be plugged straight back into the router, as we said, in the blue port. So once you've connected all of that and connected to the Wi-Fi, again, the details, if you're not too sure, them are at the bottom of the router, and also conveniently in the box with the router when you buy it. It comes with the card, and it has the network name or the SSID, and it has the default network password as well. Conveniently as well, it does have a QR code, so you can just scan that using your mobile device, and it will automatically connect you to the Wi-Fi network. So it's fantastic. So they try and think of everything to make it most easy to set up and everything else. Okay, so once you've all connected and everything else through the internet to the using your Wi-Fi, to the router, you'll then type in, if you're using the web browser like me, you'll type in 192.168.77.1, and that will launch this welcome screen here and the setup wizard. It'll be the same for when you're doing the app, but instead of, you won't have to type any web addresses, you just open the app and it will come straight up with this welcome screen here for you. So again, I've connected to the Wi-Fi now, to the Netduma R3 SSID or network name, and entered the password. So now I'll click on Begin Setup, and you'll see that it will start to detect the internet connection. So you can see here straight away it's identified my internet connection. If you do have any issues with your internet connection, some quick troubleshooting would be there's a lot of privacy settings now within Wi-Fi. So when you're connecting, so through Apple and Google, they try and mask your MAC address and then also your IP tracking. So go into the relevant screen within your Wi-Fi settings. So iOS, you'd click the little icon next to the Wi-Fi name, and then just turn off limiting IP tracking, and also the address as well, so it doesn't keep changing the MAC address all the time. And then it's the same in Google as well. You just go to privacy, and then you can switch it to device MAC, and then also send device name as well. So it just might be some troubleshooting as well, that if you're having issues connecting, to switch those off. You can switch them on back later, but for now just switch them off, so when you're going through the first setup. You do have the option here of Advanced WAN Settings, so if it doesn't connect, if it doesn't identify, or if you're using a VLAN, of course, on some internet service providers on their WAN, they're required to enter a VLAN ID, or you need to use PPOE. A lot of internet people, service providers request that, so you would have a username and password. you can just go into Advanced WAN Settings, and then here you'll be able to go into select the relevant option for your login. And if you do have PPOE, you would click on here, type in your username and password. Service is an optional field, so unless your internet service provider has given this to you, leave this blank. And then you just click Save Settings, and then it will connect. The issue we do have is if your internet service provider does use PPPoE, but you need a VLAN, it doesn't actually give you the option here to put a VLAN when setting up the wizard. So what you're going to have to do is skip through quite a lot of these screens, even though it says not recommended, and then enter the VLAN later when you get into the web interface. And we'll go through that option later on. So that's just something to be wary of. If it keeps coming and says it can't identify your internet connection and you do need a VLAN, then you can skip this step and skip several other steps that we're going to go through and go straight to the actual main router dashboard. So just be wary of that. So I'll just switch this back to my connection, and I go back, and now I can click continue. You'll have your terms and conditions here, so just make sure you read everything properly as usual. I know there's a lot here, but just reading privacy and everything else, if you are interested, then you can have a quick read of that. Tick that you confirm that you agree to terms and conditions and click continue. Here's where you can personalize your Wi-Fi, so you can leave it on the default if you like, or if this is replacing your old Wi-Fi router, then all you can do is basically change the Wi-Fi name and password to your old router Wi-Fi details. So all your devices will then reconnect to this one and make life much easier for you. So I'm going to leave these as default and continue. So now this is the login details for your actual dashboard or for the router admin console kind of thing. So here you can change the username and type a password. So again, you can update this, and it's best practice to not use your same Wi-Fi password, but use a different one. And again, I always use one password, or you can use others now that are free that are built into most operating systems, so you don't have to pay. But a password manager is always very good for passwords, because everything now seems to be passwords and complex passwords, and trying to remember them. If you're anything like me, I'm terrible. So having a password manager really does help. So you just type in password here, and then you can, as I said, you can change the username as well. So once you've done that, you can click continue. And now basically it's just confirming the details are correct. So your Wi-Fi name or SSID would be this, and your Wi-Fi password, and then your admin username, and then your admin password, and save and continue. So what this is going to do now is apply those settings to the router. So give it 5-10 minutes where it applies these, and it will restart everything, and then we'll come back once it's finished. You'll see now that the changes have been applied, and so now we're going to optimize the Wi-Fi network. So this is going to take you through a wizard on setting up the quality of service, and then some of the other settings to optimize for the best performance. So it's good that this is going to be very user friendly, so it walks you through all these steps. And of course you can go into more details and change these later in the dashboard we'll come to. So you click continue. It's going to welcome you to the new Netduma OS 4. So this is the actual operating system that the routers use. And of course you can come here for any reason that you do want to go back through the setup again, then you can do that. So next we click continue. So now it's going to say let's find your speeds. So you can enter your speeds manually if you want, or you can test my speeds. So you can click this one here, and then it will basically start going through a speed test. And you can see here we're getting around over 1 gig upload. So it basically is maxing out the connection, and then also it's going to go show you your upload and download here as well. So you can see here I'm getting my full internet connection speeds kind of thing up here. So you can see here it's really good. So it's tested there, everything. So you can apply these speed settings, or you can test again, or you can, as I said, if these issues where you do have a VLAN, you'll have to skip these a lot of these steps, because you're going to have to set them up later in the dashboard because you don't have an internet connection, because it can't connect because it's requesting a VLAN ID. So we just apply these speed settings. Now it's going to ask you what your priorities are. So again, you can skip this, So we can choose. So you've got there gaming, video streaming, work from home, file sharing, live streaming, cloud gaming. So it really covers everything that you want. So let's have I want cloud gaming as well. And then there you do have an I button next to here. So basically it will show you what it's optimizing for and what applications it's looking for as well for prioritization. So it's good to see that it's got information here as well where you can click on and it'll give you an idea as well. So once you've chosen those, you just click continue. Now it's going to ask you to confirm the priority. So number 1 is gaming, top priority. You've got work from home, cloud gaming and video streaming. So if you do want to reorganize these, you just click on here and drag it down. So work from home can be my least prioritized really, or my gaming to be the best. So you can move them around. And you can do this reorganization later around the priorities, but you can set them here for now. And again, you can skip this if you don't want to confirm right now. So we click continue. So now it's basically going to say let's reduce your lag. So lag results an annoying delay and basically stutters when you're gaming online or video calling. So it's like the buffering basically. So basically what they're going to do is make sure the ping's lowest as possible. So again, they're saying your Wi-Fi might drop off whilst we optimize your ping. So they're just letting you know that. So you can skip this or you can click here. So we're just going to go here and it's going to basically start setting up the process for that. And then as it said there, your Wi-Fi might drop because of the way it's doing it as well. So you can see here, it's just going through the actual process now of the actual ping rate of what you're actually getting. So the old ping, you can see I was getting about 5.2 and now it's basically improving your ping and it's going all the way down. So it's quite impressive where it's showing you how it's actually improving there, your ping rate, and it's going to keep on going to test it. Where it's basically going to make sure that the results are correct and everything else. So it's really good that it's doing this. I think it's a fantastic feature here. So you can see here where, of course, your internet connection does depend on during the day and also your ISP and how they do everything. But you can see here that it's fantastic where basically your old ping and it shows you your new one as well. So this is what makes this router really good. The user interface here as well, but also the improvement for your gaming and also for video streaming as well. So you can say optimize now, test again, or you can skip. So basically we can just go to optimize now. So we leave it as those settings, it's just done. Here you can switch on the animation, or you can switch the colors, or you can switch it off if say that you are in a bedroom and you don't want the bright lights. So you can have it here. So that's the LEDs that are on the top here. So that's really good. That's really cool to see that you can do all this customization. Again, you can skip if you don't want to set it up now. You click continue. So we're coming towards the end now. So you've got here user the default theme. You can switch on the AdBlocker if you want. Here you also let basically the company know about if it will basically collect technical data and things like that around for development purposes and things. So you can have that, you can switch that off if you don't want to send any information, if you're private kind of privacy, or you can, I'm going to leave it on so they can receive that information to help improve their products. But again, it's all up to you. Again, you can switch on the AdBlocker straight away. So that's a really good feature they have built in to have an AdBlocker. And here you can set basically the location. So this is the Geo Filter for your home location. And improve gameplay experience. So please set your nearest city, or so you can set location, and then here you can just type in, if I can spell. So you can see here you type it in. So you just type in London, UK, and click continue. So you'll see here that all the features, you see your speed, the features that you've gone through, and if you've not switched on a feature, it will just be grayed out. So now we'll just click onto here, it will apply these settings and now log us into the dashboard. So we'll just do that and I'll come back after. So now we've gone through the actual setup wizard, it's now taken us to the main dashboard. So this is the Duma OS 4 dashboard. So you can see here, this is basically the firmware, and this is where you'll see all the settings for the router. So here you've got on the side here your main dashboard. You've got your Geo Filter, your ping heat map, Under your home network, you're going to have SmartBoost, your network activity, device manager, and the AdBlocker. You'll see here down here if you do have any updates to the firmware, so we'll come into that in a minute. You've got an update available, or it won't show anything if there's no updates and you're up to date. You have your speed test, the ping optimizer, and this is where you come into your more detailed advanced settings. You have your little widgets you have here, so it's all nicely laid out. So you have your download, upload, your activities and devices, your gaming activity, a work activity and video. You can go here to your network activity here, so it gives you a breakdown of the information here. And if you scroll down on the bottom as well, you have your network speeds that we did, the ping optimizer, the RGB controls, so you can see here where you can change the modes and everything, or switch them off. And again, customize your Wi-Fi. So even though you set them up in that wizard, they are available here, very easy to get to straight away, one click, and you can update everything. You do have the options here, so if you're on a smaller screen like a tablet or phone, you can shrink them down here. Again, there is an app, so you can use the app as well. And then also on the three dots up here, you have basically, if you have an update available, it will show you here. You have themes and reboot. So everything is nicely laid out and neat, so you can get to each of the features and functions straight away. So the first thing we want to do is, as this is the first initial setup, is make sure that if there's any updates. And as you can see here, it's really good that it automatically goes out to their servers and checks for an update. So one of the first things we'll look at is actually going to the updates, as really good that it's actually automatically gone out to the their servers and checked for updates, and you can see one is available. So as this is the as I said, the first setup, it's always best to go into settings and check for updates, or you can go in here and you'll see it's highlighted. If you don't see this and you think there is an update available, you can go into settings, and you'll see under here you've got options all through here, and then you've got through, if you go down to here, you've got system info, and then you'll be able to update as well. So you can go on here, check for updates, and it will show you update available. It's the same as we saw before up in the three dots here. So it's good that it's got multiple places to alert you that there is an update available. So you click on here, and again, it's really good. They've got release notes here. So as of 27th of July, 2024, the version is 4.0.219, and you can go along here and you can see here they've got quite clear notes on the main changes. So as they're saying, the long-standing feature which allows you to run your VPN through the router, and then choose which devices or applications a VPN should be applied to, serving so that's including your smart TVs and everything else. The hybrid VPN is here, so that feature's been added. They've added the UPnP relay, so basically if you're on R3, so that's the Netduma R3 router, connected underneath an ISP router, you'll likely see a double NAT reported on game consoles. So they've got this actually a feature they've added onto it as well, so that's really good. As I said there, it basically helps if you have a you've got to use your ISP modem or router there. They've fixed the issue around Chromecast and AirPlay fix, so some users are reporting issues with the Chromecast and AirPlay and transferring of local files, so that's fully fixed now. And basically they've got rid of lots of other fixes, and probably they've also put in fixes around the security issues as well, and patches. So you can see they've just increased everything for reliability and improvements. So that's good to see. And then you've got here around the Netduma R3 router that I'm currently using. And you can see here as well, they've actually got a video. It's fantastic to see that you can click on. And this is the extra detail that I do like they do, is that the manufacturer actually has a video. So some people don't want to read or even understand this. Sometimes they're more visual and want to watch a video about it. Then it's here as well. And again, you've got the breakdown of the change log. So more details of exactly all the things that happen. So you can choose to update now or maybe later. So we can update now. We click on here, and you'll see what it'll do is it will just reach out to the update servers and then download the update, and then basically then restart the router automatic for you. So do give this 10 minutes or so to update. So don't go and switch it off or anything like that. Be patient with it, because it causes issues if you're updating the firmware and you switch it off as it is. So it may, like this, it might disconnect you from the Wi-Fi. Of course, it's downloading the firmware and restarting. So once it's done this, we'll come back and we'll see what the screen comes up with. So you can see the router has now updated and restarted. So it did take around 10 minutes, so be patient. And the Wi-Fi, normally you can tell when the Wi-Fi name comes back up into your settings and it automatically connects, or you have to connect back to the Wi-Fi network. So now you'll be able to see that we're on a different version now. So as we said, it's the 4.0.219, and you'll be able to verify there's no more updates. You can see that we're up to date now because that update available is gone. And also if you click on the three dots up here, it says that we're up to date. So it's been updated. So that's good to see as well, that we're up to date with everything. So as we said, that update is good to leave them on and update when necessary, because it brings new features like they've already said around the VPN and everything else. And it fixes bugs and initial security patches as well. Because don't forget, it's always good to have all your devices at home to keep up to date is your router, because it's connected to the internet, and it's the one thing that's trying to securely get you to the internet and all your devices behind it. So now we'll move on to the actual options we have. So again, we've got two under gaming. So we've got a Geo Filter. So it's very good that under these, so each time you click these, of course the device will come up. Basically a little tour, so it'll basically give you an idea of how to set up this feature, so you don't have to guess. It's on there as well. So basically it says here, this Geo Filter improves your gameplay, keeping matches close to home and blocking distant laggy servers. So basically, as you know, we put our location in when we were doing the setup wizard, and you can skip the tour, you can go straight to add device. So you can see here, you can show basically select all devices, or you can select these ones here. So you can see here it's just my Mac Mini that's currently connected, so I'll just highlight that, click next, and then basically you choose a game you play on this device. So currently I'd use the game streaming and everything else, but you can see here there's a list, quite comprehensive list. If I scroll down and you can pause the screen, you can see here all the different kind of games that you can play as well. So you've got everything here. So it's got the most main games as well. So it's good to see that they've actually incorporating this into the actual basically list as well. So you could just choose this one and then finish. And you again, this is great. We'll play your chosen game on this device. So basically now it's using the filter to show you, try and get you to the steady ping as well. And then now it's saying here what it was trying to block. So it will change the filter size to control where you want to play. If you find matches are slow, you could try doing a bigger field. So of course you don't want to bring it too far in, because you do want to keep an idea of basically connecting to servers in Europe. So as I'm in England, I want to use sometimes the European ones if the UK, if I'm having issues and things like that. It gives you more of a rundown here about the average ping as well, and you can see here. So it's good that each of these features, it'll bring up a little tour guide basically the first time, so you can understand what's happening. And again, you can zoom in, and as we said here, you can keep it simple, customize it if you really want to go, so you can bring it in more as well, or you can expand it as well, the actual, and then add devices as well. So that's really good to see that you could do on that Geo Filter. Next, you can go on to here. So this is the ping heat map. So as it says here, it shows you where the best game servers are located for your favorite games. You've got skip the tour or get started. So basically it's saying you need to choose the game. And then basically then you've got up here to take the tour again. You can just click on these ones here as well. And you can see here you've got to start the feature tour. So if you ever do want to come back to it on any of these, you can go back to these three dots and you can start the feature tour. So again, you choose the game that you want to. So say Apex Legends. You can see here now it's just basically pinging all the servers and showing you which ones are going to be the closest. So it's really good. So you can see here for the United Kingdom. And again, you can refresh this. You can see which other servers are coming up. And of course, as the further it would go away, of course, as common sense tells you, that the ping will be even greater. So that's good again, and you can adjust around here, and also you can set it between the week, month and hour as well. And again, if you do choose more games, you can go down here and then choose the different game as well. So if you want Rocket League, it will start then pinging out to the game servers, and it'll basically start telling you which ones are the closest and which ones are the furthest as well. So that's really good to see that you can actually do that. Again, if you want to change the game, you can either do the drop down or change here, and you can refresh. So that's really good. So next we move on onto home network. There's 4 different settings here. There's the SmartBoost, the network activity, device manager and AdBlocker. So this is around your home network. So here you'll be able to see the download and upload activities, and then also what devices. So you can see that currently I only have one device connected, but it will start going through where you're connecting to and things like that. And this is where your priorities come in as well. So it will start prioritizing. So if someone is actually video streaming 4K HDR through Netflix or any other streaming service, and you're trying to game, then you'll basically be able to the router will automatically identify that this has taken up all your bandwidth, slow that one down and give you more priority in your gaming. So that's really good to see. It does that automatically in the background, and you don't have to worry about it. You've got devices, so you can add your devices here. You can choose them, add it to your favorites, so you can add them here as well. So this is your priority. You can add this device. So again, you just choose, instead of your Mac, it would be your handheld, your Switch, your Xbox, your PlayStation, your gaming PC. You'd add the devices here. So that's really good to see. Next one is network activity. Again, the network activity gives you total insight into what's been using the most on your network over time. So again, this is going through what's hogging bandwidth and everything else. So this is really always very good information to see, and is a good security thing as well. As so if you're seeing a smart plug using gigs of data, and you want to question why it is, and has it been infected with anything, so it gives you an idea of the devices as well, and what exactly what's going on and what data's being used. So again, it's really good to see, and you can combine them, or you can break it down by the download upload, by the week, day, hour and now, and then you've got activities as well you can choose. And then if you've got more devices, each device you can click into and it will give you a breakdown. So that's really good to see as well, and give you, like I said, it's not just there just to see what what data you're using, but also identifying if there's any issues with devices that are connected. Next, we've got the device manager. So that, again, like it says, is basically gives you over everything that's connected to your network. So again, here you can see the devices that are connected by the LAN or the Wi-Fi, and things that are also offline. And also you can click in there on the device to get more details to go through. It's good, it's got a little tool every time when you first go into these options. So again, as I said, you can click on here to show offline devices that have connected and now are offline. So if your doorbell is offline, you can quickly identify that here, or any IP cameras or anything else. And you can click on here and it will go into the actual details, and you've got the actual device. So you can see here the signal on Wi-Fi if it's connected, what the connection is, the IP address and the device type as well. And again, like it said, you can click on here. You can block internet as well on here for that device. You can stop it going into, and you can go into network activity as well, or edit. So it's really good to see the device manager's got that information. And of course, more devices you have, more it'll map out, so you can click on each one to see what their data usage is, but also some more information, and if you want to block that device as well. On the edit, you can see here you can change it, the device type. So if it's identified it wrong or incorrectly, you can change the device type differently, and then also update the name as well. So if you've got like multiple IP cameras and you want to rename them so it's easy to identify, you can then change like the front camera, back camera, side camera and things like that. So you can go in there and it will store that detail, so you can identify them very easy. You've got the AdBlocker. So as we said here, the AdBlocker will keep all your devices, so you don't have to switch on or install a plugin on your browser or your computer or your tablet and things like that. It will block the ads at the router level, so that means that everything that's connected will get their ads blocked. So it's a really good feature and easy for people to use as well. So they're saying basically you can enable it. So on here, so if we go on here, you can enable, and then basically it'll show you the device that is connected. So as I said, I've already got the one device connected, and basically it'll start giving you information when it starts blocking website. Basically when you go to a website and you go to, say if we try go to a website that has lots of ads, it'll start showing up on here and giving you information of what it's blocking. So you can see queries here are automatically already coming up, and identifying what needs to be basically blocked as ads and things like that. So it's really good that it's that level and you don't need to worry about installing plugins and things. So it's really good. Next, we'll come on to the speed test. So this was part of the wizard that we had when we were setting it up. So you can take a speed test straight from the router. You can go into advanced, and you can then manually input it if you're having any issues for some reason. But again, it's always good to do this speed test because this is what the quality of service uses. So it knows how fast your internet is, and so how it can balance this speed. So you know, if you type in 900 download and your internet connection is only 100, it's going to think that you give you more bandwidth to each device. So it's not going to work properly. So it's best to be conservative with your internet connection speeds and also do the speed test so the router can work its best. Again, with the ping optimizer, as we've done before, so you can go into the optimize by ping, and we did in the wizard earlier. Where you can test it and basically go through it again, and it will show you the old ping before it started optimizing it under the actual router, and you can see the test history as well when you're testing it, so that's good to see. And then finally we've got the settings. So the settings here is basically advanced settings where we can go into. As you can see here, there's a multitude of settings. First one is Wi-Fi. So here's where if you want to change your Wi-Fi network name and password, you can come in and change them here. You can actually enable the guest function here as well for Wi-Fi, so you have guests connecting. As it says, devices will not be able to see or connect to this Wi-Fi until you enable it. So you have to enable this. It's not on by default, and you have to switch it on, and then you'll be able to set it up. You've got your RGB controls, as we said, so you can change it from ripple to wave to static, or you can switch them off totally. Your themes, so if you want it a light theme or dark theme, or you want it system, so it'll be telling, you know, if it's a sunset to sunrise kind of thing, so it will automatically change it, or if you prefer light or dark, you can have it always on one of those. Internet rules, so this is basically to block apps and devices. So if you click on add rule, you can click on the actual device, click next, and you can see here what group that you want to do this rule to activity. Again, it goes through like a wizard and everything else, so that's good to see as well. Then we have the hybrid VPN. So as we said, this is on this new firmware. It's a new feature they've added, and they said it's been coming for a while, so that's good to see they've added it. So you've got get started, so you can choose here between OpenVPN and WireGuard. So if you have NordVPN or any of the other big ISPs, you can basically set them up using your username and password. Normally these username and passwords are different, so it's not your usual ones that you log into the actual service or the company with. There's different ones there, so you can go through and then you have the different configurations here as well. So again, as we said previously, this will make if you want your smart TV to make it look like it's like if I'm in the UK and I want to get content from the US, I can make my just my TV look like it's in America, so it doesn't affect my gaming devices or anything else. So that's really good to see. Next, we'll come on to LAN. So you can see here which ports are being used and what devices are connected as well, and also your host name if you want to change that. You have your WAN, so you can see here your link speed and if you're connected to the internet, and then your public IP address. And then again, you can change and update these for your settings. You can go into advanced. So this is where we were talking before. If you had an issue with VLAN, it's not actually in the wizard when you're setting it up. After you've skipped those options and come into this dashboard, you go straight into WAN, you'd go straight into settings. You'd come down to the WAN advanced, and then you can see here, this is where you can change your DNS. So by default you're using your ISP. So if you want to use Cloudflare or Google or Quad9, you can change them here. So you literally just type them in here. Your IP addresses, you can change the MTU. Again, unless you really know what you're doing, don't change any of these. Keep them all as default, and you can restore defaults if you do have an issue. But also you can come in here, as we said, go to VLAN and then type in the actual VLAN number that the ISP has given you, and this is really relating to just for the WAN. So this is for your internet. So if you haven't been given a VLAN ID for your by your internet service provider, then you don't need to put anything in here. But again, if you do, you have to skip through the wizard, come in here, settings, WAN, advanced WAN settings, and then switch this on and save. So once you've done that, then you'll be able to hopefully get online. You'll have the DHCP, so you could add rules here. So if the router's giving you an IP address, but you want to confirm here, you can actually set that as a reservation. So basically, they always have the same IP address. So that's really good to see that you have that option as well. Next is UPnP, so it's on by default. So this basically just opens up ports automatically for your connected devices. Sometimes I'm a bit wary about this feature. You will need to have this on if you're behind like double NAT, behind your modem or your another router. Then it makes it easier to have this on. But this is a security issue if this is your only router going out to the internet. But also majority of the time it's basically I'd advise to switch this off if you're in the situation where this is just only your main router. And you're not connecting through anything else. You're connecting straight to the internet via DHCP or PPP OE. Then to switch this off, because this is a known sometimes security vulnerabilities with this issue. We have port forwarding. So again, as we said, if you do switch this off, then you would have to set up port forwarding manually, and you can set them up here. You can choose your device, and then you can set the port or port range. So this opens it up to the internet. So if you've got like a NAS or web server or anything like that, then you've got the option to open up ports as well. Just be wary again, because you open them up to the internet. So make sure you know what you're doing when you open them up. You've got a build. So this is basically a network route that you can add. So you can add a route for your device and everything else. And you can set the IP and everything. Again, if you're not too sure about this, best to leave these options for alone and not to change them. And nearly to the end, so we've got the system info. So this is where you can get, like we said, you can update now if there's an update available. You has your version, the app version, the model of your hardware, the time it's been uptime, and then the date and some other information. You can change your time zone as well. And then also down here you'll see change login. So you can change your login details as well. So that's not your Wi-Fi details, that's just your admin and then whatever password you set for the actual main router. And then again here you've got some accessibility mode, and then also convert charts to tables for clarity. So if you do want to have any issues with seeing anything, you can switch these features on. So that's good to see they've thought about that as well. You do have the option now, see under troubleshooting, so you've got links straight to the forums and help and support if you are having issues. Again, this is where you can switch this one off if, like in the wizard, you've left it on or you've switched it off and now you want to switch it on again. You can come into troubleshooting and switch this on. So as it says, it collects technical data and then send it to the development of the basically of future releases, so they can see information. And then again, here you can factory reset. So basically this is where you can factory reset it all back to your default settings if you're having any issues. And also here's where you can upload firmware. So if you've got any firmware you've downloaded directly from the internet, for any reason you can't automatically update it, then you can come here and then choose the file that you've downloaded and upload the firmware. But only do this is if you're really being told by technical support or anything like that. Most of the time just let it online update itself. You do have advanced options here, so you can see the CPU usage, so you can see here the quad core and then the memory usage as well. And then you can see here around, you can add some other port options as well. So you can see on the firewall, it's actually got a lot of protection already on by default to stop DDoS attacks. and then everything else. And then also you can have port scan protection on as well, so it's preventing bad actors from identifying information about your ports. You can have that switched on as well. So the more you switch on, the more protection you get basically. And then down here you can go into system logs. So here it will go into information about what's happening and give you more information if you're troubleshooting, and you can download them as well. So if we go back, and then lastly we have power, where you can just come in here and reboot the actual device. So instead of going and switching it off at the main port, the button on the back of the router. So that's all the features that we've gone through, and then that's the actual dashboard as we've gone through and doing the updates. Again, the next videos I'll probably go into actually testing is connecting my gaming devices and seeing how the devices connect and actually get recorded on here. And then I'm going to do a separate video on the actual apps. So I'll have a look, download the app, see what features represent, if they mirror what's on the web interface, and also I'll put this back into factory reset, and then I'll go through the setup wizard on the app as well, so you can see what that looks like in future videos. Okay, so thanks for watching. I know it's been very long, but again I'll put chapters in so you can skip between the different parts and for more details. Thanks for watching and have a great day.